want to welcome you to our second filming of City Spotlight, spotlighting the things that are going on in the city of Midwest City. Today I'm extremely fortunate to have my former boss and the chief of the Midwest City Police Department, Brandon Claibs, with me today. Chief, I want to welcome you and thank you for taking time. I know you're a busy guy and it takes a lot of time to come over and get this done. How long have you been the police chief now?
Well, Matt, you're going to age me if I tell how many years I've been there, but I'm going on. I celebrate my 38th year anniversary in December of this year, and I've been very privileged and honored to serve as police chief for 18 years.
18 years.
18 years.
That's phenomenal. And I might add, you've been a good chief at that. What's the biggest change you've seen in our profession in the last 38 years?
Well, you know, Midwest City was a premier city back in the 70s and the 60s when Mr. Atkinson developed the city in conjunction with Tinker Air Force Base. We're obviously celebrating the 75th anniversary of Tinker Air Force Base. So we've seen an evolution of Midwest City. We're very diverse now, where we weren't before, which gives us a great opportunity from a law enforcement perspective to serve the citizens that are out there in our public. You know, I'm very fortunate, I tell people this all the time, that the organization is great because of the people within the organization. We have tremendous police officers, men and women, that put their lives on the line on a daily basis to make sure that we sleep safe at night and that our property is safe and we motor along the public roadways without any issues. But you know, Midwest City Police Department is part of emergency services. All city employees within the city make our department and our city great. So we couldn't do our job without the street department, water department, everybody else that pitches in to make sure we have a great public environment here in Midwest City.
What are the biggest issues that are facing us today in our community? I know we have 32 active neighborhood associations and they assist us somewhat, but what do you see as the biggest need within the police department today?
Well, we've got to have community involvement. As you know, from your assignment, and by the way, Matt Diggs was a great police officer too and lieutenant for me. He was at our community relations, so you know the importance of our CAO program, where we do the long-term problem solving. Yes. And it's very critical that we have our public involved in daily policing. And what I mean by that is they've got to be the eyes and ears in addition to what the officers do on a daily basis. And so if people become more involved, they can help us deter crime. And how do you become more involved? If you see something or you hear something, call 911. And most people say, I don't want to call 911 because that's an emergency. That's what it's for, is to notify our agency of an issue that's going on, and that way we can better protect and serve. The other things that we see, we have the largest municipal jail in the state of Oklahoma, and we process anywhere from probably 2,500 to 3,500 people through our facility. And what I tell everybody is the people who are arrested are not bad people, they've just made mistakes.
Yes.
And so we've done an evolution with our approach through mental health and substance abuse prevention, and also through our jail ministry program and our Christian ministry. And so what we're trying to do is change lives at the lowest level, which is when they come into our jail. They've obviously made a mistake, but what we're doing is we're lifting those people up to become productive citizens who pay their taxes, are good moms and dads, and go back out into society better than when they came into our facility. We're the only municipality that does that in the state of Oklahoma and probably the nation, so I'm very proud of that. I'm also proud of what the officers do. They're so diverse now. Matt, when you and I started, we had a handheld radio. We were lucky to get one if we had one. You had a radio in your police car. There were no cell phones. There were no tasers. It was just basic police work. Well, now we have MCTs, we have in-car cameras, we have body cameras, we have tasers, we have cell phones, we have all the electronic devices, so they multitask on a daily basis. And when they're out there, not only are they trying to see what's going on around them, they still have to respond to what's going on inside their patrol car. So that's a tremendous change, as you well know. We've gone from writing reports to being a paperless system. We have intelligence-led policing now, which dictates where our manpower goes to address the problems within our city. So we're doing things completely different than we did 35 years ago when you started.
Chief, community-oriented policing is a strategy that the police department has used for many years. Can you tell us what that encompasses and how you're implementing that in the city?
Well, we've embraced that since the late 90s, obviously, when you were here at the police department. And what we've done is we've extended it because we've actually done some outreach. We've actually gone door to door, which you participated in, where we tried to communicate with our citizens face to face, because a lot of times they don't have any interaction with the police department unless it's something bad. So we're trying to present an environment where they can actually communicate with us. And the other things that we've done is we've instituted a police community advisory board, which represents the entire city on police matters to help us do a better job, create better policies and procedures. And we also have our neighborhood association program where we're able to provide information to a large group of individuals that live in Midwest City on crime patterns, crime trends, what they can do to protect themselves. And so it's a wide diverse of just the traditional law enforcement that we used to do all the time. Now we do both.
Chief, when I came in office, we were beginning the matrix study, a inside-out look at our police department and our delivery of services. What are we doing to implement the items that came out of that study?
Well, we embrace that study, and we appreciate the mayor and council and the city management responding to the need that we have to have one, because it's much better when you have an independent evaluation. And so from a police department perspective, we're going to actually report on that in one of the next council meetings as to what our implementation process is. A lot of it had to do with manpower.
Yes.
Obviously, based on calls for service and being proactive during the peak hours of service, we realize that we can't do that because our call volume is so high and we don't have enough personnel to do that. Now, we do have enough personnel to protect our community. We're just not proactive, which is what we want to be. But we also realize that there's some things internally that we haven't been doing, and I take responsibility for that. We haven't looked at our mission statement for many, many years. Mm-hmm. We just did a new mission statement along with a vision, which we haven't had a vision, so we're going to roll that out in the next council meeting and explain that. There's also some other things we're going to do as far as looking internally as to how we operate. We have a full-time jail staff, and it costs a lot of money to have a jail on hand, but now that jail is a good tool for the city of Midwest City and for the police department. But we're trying to figure out ways to streamline and create a safety environment for them because we need more jail personnel also. We've looked at everything throughout the process of the matrix study and used a lot of different key points to come up with our presentation. And so I don't want the cat out of the bag before
Sure.
we do it for the council and the mayor, but we're looking at some really new innovative approaches to what we do. But we're in the 21st century. We've got to be ahead of the game, as you well know, and it's our responsibility to protect and serve, and we want to do it as effective and as efficiently as we can. And so that's what these men and women have made their pledge to do, and we're going to do it.
We currently have a authorized strength of 94 officers. Is that correct? And,
That's right.
I know when I started and throughout the years, we had a continual stream of high-quality applicants, and that seems to be a issue for police departments around the state and the nation, is luring or getting people attracted to law enforcement. What can we do as a city to ensure that we get those quality applicants that want to be a police officer and want to serve their community?
Well, I think it starts with everybody that lives in the city of Midwest City. We encourage our officers when they're out in the field to recruit somebody on a daily basis. Because if we wait till the hiring process starts, we're behind the 8 ball. So we encourage people, if you see a good candidate, recruit that person, see if they have an interest in being in law enforcement. We have a great relationship with Rose State College, who has a COPS program, which prepares those officers to be commissioned and certified, which is a benefit to us because we don't have to send them to CLEAT training for 4 months before we get them. And so what we're trying to do is we're trying to fight an issue that's nationwide, as you said. 2 years ago, when the Michael Brown case happened in Ferguson, Missouri, it was not vogue to be a police officer, and it hasn't been for a long time. Now, we still have a core base of people that support the law enforcement community, but we also have people that don't. And so it's very difficult for a 21-year-old who's coming out of college or the military. Do I want to be in that line of work where my life is on the line every day, and there's a lot of people that don't like police officers? And we've had several police officers in Oklahoma killed just this year. And so it's a dangerous job. But it's very rewarding by the fact we pay very well in Midwest City. We're the 8th largest agency in the state. We have great benefits, and you got a great group of people who work here that do a job 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But it starts with our community. Recruit people that want to be police officers and have them apply.
There was a lot of talk this year in the Oklahoma State Legislature of criminal reform. And a lot of people think that we're getting soft on crime, but as we know from being in law enforcement that we put a lot of people in jail, but we're not letting a lot of people out. What's your general thoughts about some of the criminal reform issues and the movements that's coming out of the state legislature, and are you supportive of that?
I am. I embrace it. And what I would tell people is we're not soft on crime, we're smarter on crime. Because what we're doing now is not effective, it is not efficient. It's been proven time and time again. We have the highest incarceration rate for females in the state of Oklahoma. I think we're second in the nation. We put people in prison for low-level, low-security crimes, property crimes, drug crimes. Now, I understand there's a lot of people who have a bright line in reference to that, but we can't continue to fill our prisons when we have a revenue deficit in the state of Oklahoma at $2 billion, and we can't continue to do that because there's not enough room. We're running out of room, and so we have to look at it differently. And that's why we've done the mental health substance abuse program. We've embedded people in our agency. We have DHS that works with us, social services, we have aftercare, because it's not effective for us to arrest people, as they say, throw the key away and go back out in the streets and do the same thing, because we see the same people over and over. We need to break the cycle. And when you have moms and dads that are in jail, guess who takes care of their children? The state of Oklahoma. And so I embrace the reform. Now, from the district attorney side, and a lot of DAs are my friends, some of them don't, because they feel like we are soft on crime. But if you put somebody in jail for many, many years for possession of drugs, is that really a smart way to do business? So the preventative portion, where you invest your money on the front end versus the back end, is the way I think we should go. And I'm actually on a committee with Clay Bennett and Bill City, the police chief, and the city manager of Oklahoma City, DA Prater, several people on this justice reform. And we're actually trying to roll out a plan how we can better, for Oklahoma County, not just Oklahoma City, to address this issue that you talk about, justice reform, because it needs to be done.
Great. And lastly, to wrap this up, from a 30,000-foot level, what does the Midwest City Police Department look like in 15 years?
Well, they're still going to continue to be very professional. I tell everybody, and I'm biased, that I think we have the greatest police department, not only in the state, but across the United States. They'll continue to serve 24/7, as we've said. They'll continue to represent our department and the city as professional in what that oath of office says for us to do. As you well know, you've sworn to the oath of office like I have. What we're going to be is we're going to continue to grow with economic development that you and the city manager and everybody involved in city management has brought into the city. I see great things happening. We need more police officers. The problem is we don't have the money to pay for them. You know, we're relying on city sales tax, as you know, as mayor now, and we've talked about ad valorem tax and other ways to fund our emergency services and city functions. So the issue in 15 years is going to be money. We've got to figure out a way to fund what we do to make sure that we're safe in Midwest City and we have all the city services, water, sewer, streets, everything. It's all one package.
Thank you very much, Chief, for being here and giving your time up for this. And thanks again for your service to our community. You and your family have been here a long time, and we certainly appreciate it. That wraps up this edition, and we thank you for tuning in. We hope this is an enjoyable series to you and informative, and we would like to have your comments. So if you want to email me at mayor@midwestcityok.org or any one of our staff, we'd love to hear your comments and see how we can better improve our communication with our community. Thank you and have a good night.